Alright guys, I know it's been a while since I did a video here, but we're gonna go ahead and do an equipment tour. Just because I guess it's early on in the channel's life, and then we can see how it progresses over time. So we're gonna go ahead and start off here with the skid loaders and stuff, and then work our way over there to the equipment shed. And so I'll just jump right into it. First here, this bedder usually stays over there by the sawdust, but this is a woodchuck bedder. I don't really know like any size on it, but that's what we use to bed. You just go ahead and hook up these hydraulic hoses to the skid loader import. I'll show you that, and then just run it with the lever on the skid loader. So this is our Bobcat S570 skid loader. It's somewhere like from a 2014 to a 2015 skid loader. It's a newer skid loader, not too new though. We got the buckets for it and everything. This skid loader probably has about 8,000 hours on it, maybe something like that. We got the fork and bucket for this. This bucket is not the one that came with it. We just bought this maybe 2 years ago, something like that. So we do have a door for it, but we don't usually put doors on our skid loaders. I mean, we will for like the first couple months because we usually get them in the winter, but it's just because you gotta have the perfect like height on the booms, where else the door won't open, because it'll hit off these cylinders or whatever's blocking it. But we still do have the outside windows on it. We do use hand controls on our skid loaders, so this would tilt the bucket and that one would tilt the booms, and then you just push them both forward to go forward, and push them both backwards to go back. And then to turn, you just, if you want to turn this way, you pull this one forward and push that one back, which it takes a little bit to get used to, but once you start running them, then it's pretty good. And then we do have feet controls on it, but that's kind of filled up with manure right now. When we wash the skid loaders, that washes all out. It's just like that because we don't have the windows on our skid loaders, and then just works its way down in there. It wasn't really used a lot because it was a rental, and I really like this spreader. We've always had like the webbed floors, but we got a push ram this time. I like it better because, like, if something goes wrong with the ram, you can always pull it back. If something goes wrong with the web, you'd have to shovel it out, which that really sucks. But yeah, it has the upright beaters in the back. It does need a bath very bad, but I mean, it's a manure spreader, it's gonna get dirty, but I really like it. Well, this is our 8400. I really like this tractor just because the way it's all set up inside there, and I really like it. But this tractor really has never seen a dry manure spreader, and this might be the first time, just because it's so wide. I mean, we have taken off the doles, but we've never really had a big enough dry manure spreader for this tractor. But the 4960 is what we usually put on the manure spreader in the winter. We've had some problems with wiring on that tractor, so we had to put this tractor on it, which we could have put the 7710 on it, which would be better than this tractor, but that's on the feed mixer, so can't really do that. This is just a regular normal power shift transmission, but just the way it's all set up here, straight to your right hand, you can just, it's so much easier to drive on the road. In the field, I guess you can kind of say, like haul manure, liquid and dry, it's just easy to like flip in reverse real quick, or it's just easy. And the PTO's right here, you don't have to bend down here and pull it and put it up. And packing is really good too, because you just, your 3 fingers right here, or doesn't really matter which ones you use, but right there, hydraulics are right there, and then you can just bang, flip it in reverse when you're at the end, and then bang, flip it in forward when you're at the other end. 4-wheel drive, hazards and stuff right here, all your temperature gauges and stuff like that. Like, I just really like this tractor. I mean, it's just a really good tractor. And that'd be the view of manure spreader from back here. And so I guess we can I'll go on into the payloader now, which is over in the bunk. So see you when I'm over there. Alright guys, this is our 544K John Deere payloader. This is a newer model. The only reason we have one of these kind of newer models is because it's been a good while now, but we just have an older payloader, kind of the same like body style, but we had it plugged in right where that thing is, kind of over there. And we had it plugged in one winter and it caught fire, and we're really fortunate that it did not catch on the barn on fire. It was very close to the barn, and that burned up completely. I'm pretty sure we had brand new tires on that payloader, so if anyone knows how expensive these payloader tires are, that was a loss. But so we'll hop up inside here. For those of you that have never seen a payloader, so this is the cab in here. You have a screen that tells you your fuel and everything like that. Screen button is the start. You tap that twice to start it up, and then this is the stop button. And then right there is the brake button. The brake, as soon as you shut it off, it clicks on the brake. Right here is how you run your bucket and stuff. You pull up to put up the boom, push down to put it down, and then you tilt the bucket in and tilt the bucket out. And then right here is how you shift up and shift down. I think there's 4 gears on this payloader. I mean, 4 or 3, but obviously the high gear is kind of like your road gear, and I'm pretty sure we keep it in second for loading feed around here. And then there in the back here, there's forward, neutral, and then reverse. So you can it's kind of hard to tell you on camera, but you can feel what it's in just with your fingers, I guess. And then right here is for kind of like construction. I'm pretty sure that's like another bucket, another truck. I'm not really sure about that. And then you have your turn signals, which really never gets used, your horn. But I really like this payloader. It has a nice cab in it. Just a really nice thing to run. So we'll go ahead and move on to the equipment shed. This is our tune baler here. It's a LSB 890. If you've ever seen inside a baler, well, here you go. It kind of feeds the hay up into this, and then it rolls it up and then kicks it back, and then it does all the bale like string stuff and wraps it up real nice. Not really, I know how that kind of works, but I'm not sure how that back works. We usually run this on our 8400, which is a really good fit. Now you could use our 4962, but I mean, it's not really worth switching over the monitor and stuff like that. This baler, we've had it not all my life, but mostly that I can remember, we've had this baler. It is a really good baler. And then behind it here we have our field auger here. We used to use this auger to transfer loads when we used to haul over the mountain, which was a trip, obviously. So we would get we'd hire someone to use their better trucks, the trucks that they always run on the roads, and then they'd bring it back here, and to keep them going, we would transfer their corn to our trucks, and then we'd grind it over here, which obviously we don't do that over in the mountain anymore. So this kind of just sits in here, but we have one of our neighbors likes to use it to fill his grain bin, so we just let him borrow it, and he gets that. This is our 2006, I think, chopper. It's very dusty because we were chopping corn fodder with it. Not a lot of corn fodder, but I did a whole video on this around the time we were chopping corn. I'll try to put that video. I think it might be right up here. I'm not sure where it will be, but yeah, I'll try to do that. And then this is our corn head with it, which you can see that in the video. And this is our hay head. Next, we have our 4630 John Deere. This tractor It's honestly probably one of my favorite tractors because every time you start it up, it does not fail to roll cool, and it has an awesome cold start, and it has these awesome fat back tires on it. I really like this cab design, kinda. It's hard to explain. I really wish it had like a shifter and stuff like the 8400 did, but it doesn't, so that kind of sucks. And I hate how you kind of have to reach down, but I just like being in these older tractors. I don't know why. We bought this tractor, I think it might have been around the time my dad was born, so in the 80s, and it's really just like lasted forever. We rebuilt it a few times, which I hate to say this, but this will be the next tractor to go. I really like it, but I mean, it's just, you can just tell it's been through a lot. I mean, we've had it for so long, and it's been a really good tractor, but it's getting to the end of its life, which I hate to say that, but it is. This is our white GMC. It's kind of an odd name to say, but this used to be kind of like a construction truck. You can kind of see right here. Oh geez, that bird just scared me. But the weld right there, we had a guy welded like bed extension onto it, which like it used to be a construction truck, which it really I don't really know how to say this. Like, it's not the greatest with weight, but it was kind of a cheaper truck, and I really like it because it's newer. It's like an automatic. I mean, sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. It has a hydraulic bed on it. It's just like it's a really good truck, but the only problem with it is kind of like weight. But the bed is up right now, if you're wondering that, because this is the truck my dad goes to get minerals with and stuff like that at the feed mill. So he just let that so it's dry in the bed there. And here's what it looks like in the bed, if you've ever wondered that. I mean, it's kind of just a square box. And then on next year, this is one of our 4020s, one of two. This one is the older one of the two. I'll try to get better light here. It's getting dark out. It's the better of the two, kind of, because the other one sat outside its all its life, which this one has two. This is the one that we use for mixing, which this one has always been on the mixer. My dad says he might have rigged with it a few times, but mostly its whole life it's always been on a mixing tractor, which this is the power shift one. And then they could just kind of makes it easier feeding and stuff. And then the PTO would be right here. And yeah, I really like 4020s. I'm not sure, it's like, I feel like they're the most popular tractor, or at least John Deere tractor ever. We put new tires on this not that long ago, and it's just, I really like it. And then, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but this is our grain drill. I'm not sure if I showed you guys any triticale planning, but this is what we would use for triticale. I'm not sure if there's still any triticale in it. I came back here to look at the number. This is a 1560 John Deere seeder. See what triticale seed looks like. Triticale is a mixture of kind of like wheat, barley, rye, all that kind of grain. And you so we mow it off before it like starts to develop as like a grain, so it's kind of still like a grass. And so that's when we take it off. This is our 12-row John Deere corn planter. I mean, this is the only planter I ever remember having, but I'll get down here just to show you guys a better view. Pretty sure it's like a 17 something. Yeah, so it is a 1770 NR. So it's a 3-point hookup. And yeah, it has the fertilizer tank on there, the row markers, and it has the individual hoppers, which I'm not sure if there's any seed corn in here, but you just pull that tab off the top, and then it falls down there. And so yeah, there's still some seed corn in here. Seed corn, I don't know if any of you guys aren't farmers, you probably didn't know that seed corn actually has like a sort of coating on it to like help the seed grow when it's in the ground. And so yeah, that's that greenish stuff that's on the thing. This is our Ford LTL 9000. This truck is near the end of its life too, I guess you could say. I'm not even sure if you guys can see, it's very dark, but if you guys want to know what an interior looks like, then you can just go on Google. I'm sorry I can't show you inside there, it's just not the greatest lighting. So the hood is like a little really messed up because just they're bouncing out of the fields and stuff and everything like that. But I mean, and it leaks oil pretty well too, which this is a really good spare truck, I guess. But the two main trucks are over there, and then when we have a third driver, which we sometimes do, but if one truck breaks down, it's really nice to have another truck on hand. This is our other Ford 9000. This is a semi. We used to have this on a manure tanker, but we got rid of that manure tanker, and we're still trying to get rid of this truck. This truck is actually, I mean, it's nicer, I guess you could say. Here's the inside. It's kind of like a bear, not really a bear truck, but you can tell it was used this is life for a farm truck. I mean, if you wanted this to kind of like short travel distance, it'd be a really good truck. And while we're over here, this is our other 4020. This is 4020 we use for tedding sometimes, and we harvest our shredded cow, which might have some footage of that this year. This truck is like I think they call it I forget what it's called. It starts with a Q. I just can't get it off the top of my head, but this has a different transmission in it, so it would make it harder to feed with. Just because it's so hard. Well, it's not really that so hard. If you do it over and over, it would just be as easy as power shifting. But power shift is just easy. You can just click down through the gears. This one, you gotta find the gears down through it. I'll actually get up here and show you that. This is the one that we use for our manure pump. So that's why it's kind of in rougher condition. The seat is all tore up and stuff. So this right here, you gotta pull back, and then that would be forward something gear, and then forward, and then to go in reverse, this might be, wait, to go in reverse, see, that'd be reverse right there, like this, and that would be reverse. So it would be kind of harder. I really never knew how to drive this until I had to start tedding with it, because we would be using our 7710 to plant corn sometimes when we're chopping triticale. And so, I mean, I'm still not the greatest at it, but I kind of have an idea. I do have an idea how to do it. But like that would be forward, I'm pretty sure. There's some gears that are like down that are forward. It's pretty confusing, but once you figure it out, it's really not confusing at all. And kind of skip some back here. Forgot the row inverter and the dump table. Go ahead and do them. If you guys don't know what a dump table is, like, I'm not really sure what year this is for anything like that, but when you are filling silos, obviously you have a blower, and back then the blowers, you just dump the wagon right into the blower. Nothing unusual, pretty normal. What this does for farmers that got a little bigger and have dump trucks back then, when they still filled silos, which we don't anymore, That's why this thing kind of just sits here. You could, well, we just quit a couple years ago. I still remember filling some. I was younger. So you would back up to this and you would dump the silage onto this thing, and these webs would carry it back right here, and then it would conveyor it back into the blower, which this would unfold right here. And you just hook these hydraulic hoses up to a tractor, and then that's how you ran it. Well, I'm pretty sure there's on the PTO, but I may be mistaken. Pretty sure it's just hydraulic. So that's why this is here. This also, we're trying to get rid of this dump table because there's really no use, and as you can see, it takes up a good spot of our equipment shed. This is our row inverter. We use this for when we're chopping hay. It makes the rows, like you put the rows together, picks it up right here, puts it on a conveyor belt, and then this other conveyor belt folds down, and then it'll flip it and it'll put it into different rows. And you combine them rows together, and you have a nice big row that the chopper can easily handle. Now this, on the other hand, this is a rake, which it basically does the same thing as that. This does not need PTO. All it needs is hydraulic, and these rake just runs off the ground. So I'll get on the other side here to give you a better view. So a rake is basically used for when you're baling hay. When you're baling hay, the baler can't take as big as rows as a chopper could. So you just put it, this puts it in kind of tiny rows, because you can only put 2 hay bind rows, which is their hay bind. We'll get to that in a second. You put 2 hay bind rows into 1 row, and then you bale that up. This is our R450 John Deere hay bind. This is probably one of the nicest pieces of equipment we have. This is probably 2014, 2015. But unlike a skid loader, this kind of just doesn't get used every day, and it's not around nor every day. Turn on my phone flashlight because it is getting dark, and I just wanted to sneak this on tonight. So it still has that real nice smell in it. There's the screen that gives you all the feel things and stuff, and then it's kind of like a chopper. You push that forward to go, push it back to stop. PTO, like fans, everything, lights here. And I really like this hay bind. It has a pretty decent sized head on it. As you can see, its head is a 950, which I'm not sure if you can look how wide that is. This is our stock chopper. I said earlier about how we stock chop with the Stone 7, but our 4960, like I said, is getting fixed right now. So when that's back, I will show you that tractor, which you've probably seen before, but just to make sure, I will show you that tractor. We got this not that long ago. It's a really nice, we got it used, but it is a really nice stock chopper, which these don't wear out as fast because obviously they don't get used every day like a skid loader or a feed mixer or something would. But yeah, that is our stock chopper, which, if you don't know what that does, when you combine corn, there'll be a stubble there, about a foot stubble, and then that takes this, and it has little like lawnmower knives at the bottom, and it just chops it up, and then it pushes it into a row on the back. And then when that row is complete like that, I'll go ahead and show you when you bale that. And then when you bale it, I'll show you what it looks like here. When you bale it, this is what it looks like, and this makes for great bedding. Not really as good as straw, but it could be. But this is what you would use for kind of like a box stall. So we use this for our box stall in the new barn and our pens for our heifers. But when we get into like bedding our little white calf hutches, and that's when we use straw, because then they can really hunker down in the straw. This right here is our 6300 whole manure tank, 6300 gallon manure tank. It's a 3-wheeler. It's kind of getting worn out, but not really that bad. I think we got this in 2000, so I'm pretty sure that's what my dad said. And this has like the wheel assist, whatever you want to call it, where this little flapper thing up here, you hook the hydraulics into it, and when you kick the hydraulics in, this little flapper goes on your hitch pin, or drawbar, drawbar, and then when you turn, the drawbar will go with it, and then that turns the wheels in the back. But the hydraulics have to be on to do that. And then, so that gives you better range of motion. This one, we don't really use it that much because it's pretty, not only flat, but it's not really necessary. But you can tilt the manure spreader. Each tire has a hydraulic cylinder on it, so you can move the tires up and down to get all the manure to flow to the front, and then it spreads it up through the pump, and then it goes out the back. And that would be really helpful if we had a crazy amount of hills here, which it is pretty hilly here, but not that terribly bad. This is an ag bag. If you guys never seen an ag bag, I completely missed doing this for you guys. I would like to, but I didn't. Just really didn't feel like it. So this is grinded up corn. I'm pretty sure, well, I forget, we used a grinder for a little bit, and then we used a different type of grinder. It really just did the same thing, but it made it like finer. I forget, I want to say hammer meal, but I don't think it was. It might have been, not sure, but I wish I would have just showed you guys this. An ag bagger, which after you take it through the, whatever it was called, I know the one was called a grinder, so we're just gonna say grinder. After you run this corn, it was a whole kernel of corn. After you run it through that grinder, then it feeds it into this ag bagger, and the ag bagger will pack it in there tightly. And all you have to do is put the tractor in neutral, and then when it packs back, it'll push the tractor forward at the same time. So this used to be kind of out there. You can kind of see where that feed started going. It's a pretty long ag bag, but once you kind of downsize on the cows a little bit, we used to have about like 500 cows. So we used to have like 4 of these ag bags, and that would get us about for like a whole year. That would get us through a whole year of feeding these cows. Which this will last a couple more months, and then we'll have to start eventually buying corn again, which is really not a good thing. But yeah.